the feelings that I've had with you, with another person. And it was only until recently that this man decided to go with me. I want to introduce perhaps the greatest voice actor in the history of animation. I call him the king. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, His Royal Highness the Majestic and all those other words. The king himself, Frank Welker. So I pumped a few extra pounds of air in the tire. Oh, wow.
You've been kicked out.
Before we begin, if I may, first of all, I want to say thank you all for making me feel so welcome. You all have been fantastic. Each and every one said thank you for coming. I appreciate that so much. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Chris Kidd, who invited me this year. And of course, if it wasn't for the real king, Peter Cullen, who we say in the business, in show business, we have a saying, generous actor. And what that means is not somebody who gives out things other than like money or fruit. What Peter gives out is pure love, and what he does for his fellow actors is called being generous. Whether it's a script, new actors, he makes sure they get the best lines, and this is all true. When things are going, he makes sure that somebody gets a chance to audition. And when he talks about me, he always says something very, very nice. And I love him dearly, my arch nemesis, and very good friend, Peter Cullen.
When you first said it, do you mind? Like, I'm going to argue with Megatron. Yeah, do what you want to do, man. You're not here to see me.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. After all, I am Megatron. Decepticons.
Hail Megatron! Size already.
Yes, my niece.
Wait one moment.
Look who's woken up.
One shall stand. One shall fall.
That's right.
Till all are one!
Spend your time on such pathetic rubbish.
Megatron, what happened to you, my brother? Why did you go astray?
You won't know until the 15th new episode.
There's some truth to that. A lot of times we have no idea with those scripts, right? Never have an idea. Never. I think it's an impossible thing to track because you never know where the brilliant minds who write these scripts are going to take you. And it's always an adventure for me and for Frank or for anyone for that matter to find out what's going to go after the next episode. Because how far can you take something? And they're brilliant writers, as we all agree.
Yeah. And they'll bring in a lot of new talent, and then they, kind of mine them for new creative ideas, see where they can go, but still keeping the basis of the franchise as it is, but still looking for new things. So when you read a script, and we go and read a script, we're going, oh, wow, hey, that's cool. This is good. Oh, yeah. Keep
And
it
then
going.
Michael Bay comes in.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Open that wound.
Thank you. It's true.
Opinions?
Original what?
The original movie. Page 17, you mentioned something about that, reading the script for the original movie.
They're asking about the original animated film.
The original animated film, you and I were together.
Yes.
I think it was page 17.
Yes. I remember it well, too.
And I find that I'm getting axed.
Saddest day of our lives.
Rubbed out. Literally
How dare they?
cut from the pages. And
Neither of us could believe it.
I said, I can't believe it, Frank. This isn't easy. Where are they going to go from here, And actors basically, there is a sensitivity that is measured by your ability to perform and how well you perform, or for that matter, how poorly you perform. In that case, I was thinking, I must really suck at something. It's kind of like being in a soap opera, and if you're a challenging, contentious person, and it gets on the nerves of other actors, producers, writers, directors, they'll get rid of you. Quite easily done in a soap opera. What happened to Martha last week? She came down with a horrible cold. Is this the beginning of pneumonia? So we can expect perhaps going to a funeral in 2 weeks. Poor Ethel. Now there's more lines for me.
But it was a shock, and I don't remember exactly what the whole reasons were, but as what happens sometimes in the world, good things happen, and obviously the correct thing happened, and Optimus Prime came back.
I think it was for 3 shows, Frank. I never knew. On to the next gig. And while you were busy doing Transformers, I was doing, I don't know.
Many shows. Many shows.
Have either of you ever IMDb'd yourself? I mean, really, your credits go on forever.
Busiest guy in the business, right there.
I only Google Frank. And I do that so I can humiliate myself. I do look at Frank and say, see what you have to accomplish before you can become a master. Because he is the king.
Oh,
Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night?
Let's go on. It's a missing steak, which I don't know what that's all about. So.
Oh!
Either do
Yeah. There
This
was no
one of you
comment.
started that.
There was no comment at BotCon. You just opted not to comment about it. You commented about the parking spot.
Well, where did that come from? What was the steak all about? I mean,
Peter told a story about the steak at 2012 BotCon.
Where was his?
Can you repeat that, please?
There's a steak involved, and Frank is thrown into the bus.
Like you two would go to dinner after Transformers
Frank would go to the bathroom and you would like get rid of his steak or something.
Apparently
you would hide it.
you're stealing food off of Frank's plate.
This sounds realistic.
But sometimes Frank, like you had this running gag, like he would do it and then Frank would do it, and that's what
I told that story confidently.
The steak stealing.
That Frank would never come to convention.
Decepticon.
Okay.
I'm finding out a lot of information. Thank you.
See what you've been missing out on so long, Frank?
It's all make believe.
Yes.
I'll talk to you later.
So you had a question for us?
Well, actually, I had a lot of questions. In fact,
Oh.
we pulled some of our Transformers enthusiasts. We got a few questions from them. One of them was, many voice actors realize they have a talent for creating voices. When and how did you find your talent?
Actually, as far back as I can remember, which is 2.5 weeks ago. It's very sad. But as you get older. No, actually, when I was little, I can remember being able to mimic sounds of things I heard, like crickets and birds. Yes, I heard that. The little girl went, so David Kay has already done that, that's what she just said. No, actually, David's my friend, he's right out there. He's doing very funny things too, very good sounds. But bird sounds, I remember sitting at a table listening to a sparrow outside. It just resonated.
Wow.
Or a cricket. And so I thought, well, my brother goes to college, we all make noises. And actually, early on, I started trying to do impressions and sounds, and I thought, you know what, that's what I like doing. It's fun, and there's a business out there somewhere that, wants you to make noises and act silly. Except for in school, that was, no. That was office. Do that quick one more time. Office. It's part of, being obnoxious and bothering people. That's all part of the business. Your turn. I know he was just as bad, if not worse, than me.
Office.
Yes, office.
Oftentimes, I would get kicked out of class a lot for impersonating the teacher.
Everyone does that now.
One time, the teacher walked out of the class, and we have 2 doors. One came in that door, and then at the back of the class, there was another door.
Oh, whoops.
So he went out the first door near his desk, and I took the opportunity to impersonate him. So I was going, I had everybody laughing, and then all of a sudden the laughter stopped, and I kept on going.
Whoops.
I looked around, and there was Mr. Thrasher, and that was his real name. I'm telling you the truth. So he said, Mr. Cullen, sit down. Then he walked to the front of the class, went out, came back, and I did it again. But this time, he was gone for a little while. He had gone to get the principal. And so I am now have the classroom's attention, and I'm still doing Mr. Thrasher. And all of a sudden, there's that quiet again. And in the window of the door in the front was the principal and Mr. Thrasher, and they're looking in, and everybody shuts up again. I said, I looked over and, whoa, boy! Whoa, boy! And they walked in, and the principal said, continue. Continue.
Oh.
So I did. The kids started laughing again, and I said, wow, I gotta put this stuff together. This might work. That was the officer.
So you're basically saying that Mr. Thrasher was your inspiration for Optimus Prime, and your principal was Mafia Hitman?
Is that kind of like saying an elastic band is compared to a rocket? I don't know. Chris, Frank and I, have a very similar background. That's why we became such great friends over the many years. And he would floor me. He would do sounds, and I said, I can't do that. But I would come up, I would do something just on the spur of a second, and he would just get cracked on. Well, that was a great inspiration.
May I
Go ahead.
one request?
Yes.
A semi truck in idle.
I don't know if I can do that
This
anymore,
is
Frank.
Now imagine yourself, first of all, sitting in a session, a very serious session, trying to do your lines, and you hear this.
I can't.
Well, that brings us to another really good question. What was the first job as a voice actor that you ever had, and what do you really remember of it?
First job as a voice actor. Okay. I was working in a summer stock theater, and as a grip and apprentice, making sets, watching old sets and painting new sets. And they had a malfunction with a recording when they needed a baby to cry off set, off stage. And they were panicking because it was very essential to the plot of the story, because it kicked off, I guess, several important things to happen. So I went to the backstage manager and I said, I think I can do a voice, I can do a baby sound. He said, can you? He said, well, he's coming up in like in 5 seconds. So I said, can you go? So I put my but it worked. They bought it. And I ended up doing it for the next week because it was a 7-day production.
What about you, Dave?
Well, I think the first actual voiceover job I did was Dr. Dolittle, the film. And Rex Harrison was supposed to talk to the animals. And I don't even know how they got me. Maybe through a comedy club doing noises and stuff, but Rex Harrison was supposed to talk to the animals, so I watched the picture. It's called ADR, which most of you know because I know you're all very hip. And how we're doing ADR, so you go in and you look at the screen and then looks at us and we get. And then I would fill it in because what he was doing was talking to a dog, so he'd go. I don't know if he really talked to a dog, but he did talk to a horse, and he'd go.
Almost had a hairball for my cat.
A choking dog, actually. That's the classy material that I began my career with. While Mr. Cullen was working on Broadway, I was.
I don't know how we ever got any work done in this field. This man could make me laugh at the drop of anything. I swear. One day, I don't know, I was sitting right next to him and I was about ready to do a line and he was starting to do something with his leg. He started to press a button. Frank would use. I get up to speak and I do my line. I'm getting ready for my pay tonight. I turn around this leg and he went.
But you can see Peter and I amuse ourselves a lot, much to the disappointment of the directors. And at some point, we'll be just so into it, and they'll go, stop. We have 30 minutes left. You two, stop. Right? Sometimes they record it by ourselves just so they can yell at us, right?
Well, we had one director that used to come out of the director's booth at the end of the production with a big bruised bump on his forehead. Tell that story.
Well, Peter had our friend. We had a director that we worked with on. Let's see, that particular show was that Muppet Babies?
Could be.
But we worked with a director who was a very funny, very talented, very nice young man by the name of Hank Soroyan.
Hank Soroyan, one of the great directors. I love working with him.
And he had a great sense of humor, but Peter had his number. I didn't have his number.
Oh,
Peter had his number. Peter would just go. Oh, come on, stop it, Peter, stop it. And he would say something very funny and funny. So finally he got poor Hank to the point where, literally, he'd just go like that, and Hank was gone. So Hank would see things fly, and then all of a sudden he'd go from laughing wildly to taking his head, and we'd hear this thump, because he laughed so hard, he'd thump, and he'd hit the director's table. You're so... Very, very bad. We came to thump his head. That was Hank Soroyan.
Hank Soroyan, the great Hank Soroyan. Actually, a grandson of William Soroyan, for all you English majors out there. Great author. Hello?
Voice broken?
Hello? Oh. Frank, is that you? I didn't quite get that. Was that your what? Oh, okay, I understood that. This is really old. You can see that in a 1960s sitcom when they go to the dialing code. You don't know, I'm young, I'm okay.
No, we're old enough.
Jeez. Speak for yourself.
Well, yeah, a lot of your fans wanted to know when you decided that this voice acting gig was going to be a career for you.
Actually, when I kind of coerced and tricked 3 of my buddies from Colorado, from Denver, Colorado.
Yes.
Actually, it's 2. It's my parents. But I got these guys to go to California because I knew that's where the girls were, the beach was, and Hollywood was.
Yes.
So I mean, I already had my visions going that way. So I got into college, did some plays, and started doing commercials. And then I started working on stand-up comedy. Peter kind of did the same. He does very, very funny stuff. So I can be a real good-looking hero. So I got stand-up, and then during the stand-up, I did these dog and cat routines and all that stuff. And what was the question? See, when you're older, these things. But actually, I had my tunnel vision going. You know, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Got those guys out there. They went back to Colorado. I stayed, got into plays, got into the business, and really have been so lucky because first commercial I did was a bold detergent on-camera commercial, and I was playing like a high school kid. I've aged a little. Not much, mind you, just a little. But this bold commercial, I know it's my feelings exactly. And once I did that commercial, I started working and never stopped. You know, and then got into voices, kind of by accident when I was doing stand-up. And a gal from ABC and her fiance were watching my nightclub ad. I know it's boring, but the food is coming. So she happened to be working, casting a show called Scooby-Doo. So she asked me to come in and read for that show, and I went in and got Freddie, and that was like years ago, 44 years ago.
Wow.
And we're still doing shows, and I think that's probably the end of my portion of that question. I think we've gone on a little too long. Scooby-Doo? So Freddie was the blonde hair with the ascot, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Scoob, would you do it for a Scooby snack? Oh. Would you do it for 2 Scooby snacks? Oh. Would you do it for 3 Scooby snacks? Oh, 3. So, about 12 years ago when we lost the wonderful Don Messick, and I started doing Scooby. So now it's Scooby and Freddie.
Yay! You're still awesome!
Thank you.
Love you!
Scooby-Doo and Kiss rocks.
Oh, did you see that?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
It rocked.
I watched that 10 times last week, don't break it.
He's making the Scooby-Doo and Kiss together DVD that just came out this, I guess, a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really, I think it's pretty good.
Yes.
And the music is really awesome.
Yes.
To hear that music again, and then Scooby is like dressed like funny stuff. Those guys are a lot of fun to work with. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
there was a cartoon show in the 80s called Transformers.
Comedians everywhere.
When did you realize that it was going to be such the success that it is?
I had no idea that it was going to be a success because we never got any letters from fans. We never had any feedback. There was no way to really judge, you know, whether or not, which is why I had no idea, you know, why they would, you know, let me go, and then unless I could come to the conclusion that I was not really good at what I was doing. So, you know, that's why I answered that question somewhat earlier, but you keep bringing it up. But no, I had no idea. You know, we didn't know. You'll do a series of programs, and then all of a sudden your agent comes and said, okay, well, you're going out to an audition. It'll be the name of the same company as last year on a show that you've done, but that show hasn't been picked up, but they want you to audition for another character on another show. So you just went from one show to the other. Frank, on the other hand, would be doing 4 or 5 shows a day. And he would do up to 6 voices in each show. And they only pay you for 4. Well, most guys couldn't do 2 voices. Well, Frank, you know, being the king, I mean, he'd walk in and they could pay the guy to do 16 roles, you know. And that's why, you know, he's very well done.
I love you, man. Well, you know, it was truly, that period of time was I would say the animation renaissance. I mean, we had so much work in those days. It was kind of like old radio, where in New York, you do a radio show one place, then you go to RKO, you do another show, and I mean, you do like 10 different shows in a day. Well, we actually had that going, and there were times I appreciate it very, very much, because you're the boss. What you want, we're gonna give you. And,
What you've done is beyond words.
thank you, man. Appreciate it.
What he's done is beyond words.
Yes.
And that was nice.
Thank you.
So true. Warmed a lot of hearts in this world.
I've caused a lot of trouble. Yes, it's a nice love fest, but it's true. We appreciate it very, very much. Because you are the boss. Next question.
Thank you for following
Size
boss's orders.
11 and a half. Look big, right? I'm wearing adult shoes.
I'd say you've admitted at least 44 years of voice acting.
Yes.
And might be more, but at least 44?
Yeah, I was trying to think, I think that Dr. Doolittle may have been the very first job, so but my bowl detergent was in 67, and I think the first voice job I did was probably 69.
So, especially.
And I'm only 39.
You look good for your age. You look damn good.
Thank you.
So, especially in the world of voice acting, has the process changed for you over the years, or is it still pretty much the same?
Well, I think it's changing with the CGI and the scripts. I mean, it seemed like before we just did so many shows so fast that now the shows are taking a little more time. We used to do, remember seasons? We'd actually do like a season, and all the shows were at the same time. And now we kind of work all year round on different shows, so there's more time to develop the scripts and more time to kind of develop the stories and characters. So I think that's kind of different, and then I think people can talk to the technology. It's just so awesome what we're doing now with Transformers.
Oh, I don't know much about the real technical end of it. I mean, you start getting into, I'm sure there are a lot of fans here that know a lot more about digital animation than I do. And I'll bet you do, yeah. And well, today in the signing, there were so many wonderful things that were, presented to us to sign that were done by, individuals, and I was knocked out by it. Artwork. It is changing, and it's changing wonderfully. There's an example right there, and it's magnificent. Yeah, a lot has changed, and there's another one, yeah. Fantastic.
For those of you who are listening to us on a radio broadcast, extremely bright, beautiful they've been signed by the actor. The art is fantastic. I'm sorry, I carried away. I know Peter will usually know and go, Frank, it's bedtime.
We're in the car coming here today, and he leans over to me and said, Peter, he said, do you ever wake up in the middle of the night and then you see there's a big red mark on your arm, a real dump? And I looked at him and said, no. He said, neither do I. Just on the way here.
Something to say. And that would go to a donut shop.
So I tried to get it back by waiting 20 minutes and said,
Do you ever get a big bump? You know, or your knee, red, and then it's got a circle around it. It got right in the middle of the dime.
once. Next question.
Okay, so the two of you are synonymous with Transformers. Are there any of the roles that you've played that are really near and dear to your heart?
Eeyore.
And you're Megan. And I love that. That's just wonderful. You've got to show that to me.
Raise it up. Woo! Awesome! Pretty!
I love to do you. Not that anybody cares me. Better call Walker. There's nothing. Just a call.
Why aren't you Eeyore anymore?
I don't know.
Frank, how about you?
Abu!
Abu.
Youngstron! Yeah! Yes!
Let me take you through the transition.
Yes!
Yes, please.
I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. Oh yes, you're talking G1, of course. Let's go into Megatron in Optimus Prime, or as we call it, Prime. Transformer Prime. And we transition into Galvatron. I am still Megatron. You can believe it. And if you don't, you're a Decepticon. Not. You are an Autobot, and we will find you. Yes. You did put some pounds on that boy, didn't you? Oh, yeah. You took that guy right to the top of the hill, didn't you?
I reckon that's what I had to do. You don't have much choice.
You know, Walter,
Yeah.
I like to tell you something, but I forgot. And I guess that's just getting old. Forgetting.
I reckon it is. Chef, and the other morning you asked me to make some grits and bacon and sausage and eggs.
Well, now you're talking, mister. Let's get at it.
Well, it's lunchtime. Eggs at lunchtime.
What's the name of that character? What's the name of that guy you stuck to it?
It was Walter Benny.
All right.
Do you know who this is?
No, they don't know who this is. This is Bradley Crawford. Captain Dan Matthews, Broadway. What?
Bradley Crawford. Now, you need to go back a few years. But this is a perfect Bradley Crawford. If you can, you probably YouTube it and find Bradley Crawford because this is Bradley Crawford. Please listen and then look it up. Ready?
My name is Captain Dan Matthews, Highway Patrol. The laws of the state would make for your protection. Obey them. Oh, and one more thing. Leave your blood in the blood bank and not on the highway. Oh, and one more thing. This program was brought to you by Drunken. Dan Matthews out. 10-4 over out.
We do a lot of impressions, but there's some of the older folks. Now he's saying he's too young, I'm too old. Oh, Archie. What are you doing there, Edith? Oh, Archie.
Oh, not now. Will you give me a break?
Oh,
Here comes the big dad. Ask him.
Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Last night I dreamed I was in the Mississippi contest.
How could you possibly be? Edith, would you cut it out? You're driving me crazy. What are you doing
I couldn't hear you.
Get our night.
Yes, I
Oh, yeah.
Lake and lubricant.
Oh, gee, really good, Brian. I just want to kick some butt. Not now, Ironhide. You'll wait. Just be patient. But Brian, I said be patient. Ah, gee whiz, a leaking lubricant.
Thank you.
Okay, well, I shared with the audience earlier that I did experience a few car rides with you gentlemen, and my face still hurts because this is all that was going on in the backseat. And when you shared with us that you had a director that would just tell you to stop. And I do believe you never got any work done, but we've seen your body work, so we know you eventually did. But the point is, I'm trying to get to is, were there any other great experiences with other actors besides each other that you'd like to share with the audience?
Not without getting them in trouble.
Maybe somebody wouldn't mind throwing under the bus.
Next question.
Frank's got music.
Frank's got one. Casey Kasem.
Oh yeah.
Casey Kasem was an amazing guy. And, you know, we did the Scooby from the very beginning. And actually, the true story of this, and you may have heard it before, I don't know if you have, maybe I should tell it in Spanish. But the thing about Casey was, he was so serious about the things he believed in. And one was bad food, you know. So I remember there was a time, well, let me go back a little further. When we first were trying to get the parts, and we were reading together, they brought us in to read together, and I wanted to do Shaggy because there was the comedy part. It looked like a lot of fun, and you know, Freddie was Freddie. And Casey wanted to do Freddie because it was a straight part, and he loved just, you know, acting. He loved acting. And he didn't kind of want to do the silly stuff. But he was so good at Shaggy. And I was so lame at Freddie. You know? You're lame. Cast Frank. When we got the roles, we got the opposite ones that we wanted and that we thought we'd get. I was thinking, man, now you're Fred, you drive the machine, you wear an ascot for no reason, and you're really lame. Okay, first job, I'm lame. But I remember one time, and this is one of those memories that you sang about actors and stuff, but Casey went to the mat. I mean, he was such a nice guy, but he was a pro, and he'd been around a long time, had his own radio show, did the top 40 something. He was very successful, but he was so respectful of directors, other actors, the script. But he had his core values and would totally believe that this food situation that, you know, that's Shaggy's character eats everything. And I remember he went to the mat when they had, it was some kind of meat thing, you know, he was so against it. And I remember him, and we were early into the show, that he fought to get that out of the script and to change a lot of the things that, I mean, you think right now, well, Scooby and Shaggy, they ate everything. Well, actually, they ate a lot. But there's a lot of stuff that they didn't eat, and that was because of Casey and his belief that there's bad things and you should eat better, even though the whole, you know, their characters were blah, blah, blah. But that was the cool thing about Casey, was I saw him go to the mat for something he believed in. So,
let's just, hypothetically, what if this voice acting thing doesn't work out for you two? what other career do you two imagine have?
Neurosurgery.
Back up.
Wouldn't you let me operate on your brain?
Yes!
Simple question. Action.
I heard you will. Dr. Megatron.
If it doesn't work out for me, I think I'll just become a writer. I've always imagined myself writing the great novel.
And be able to go out into the world like Truman Capote.
Yeah!
You know, and just write something that makes everybody so scared. Or else. That is very good, Mr. Capote.
Very good.
Yeah, Peter would be a great writer. You should see his emails. Okay. Peter, what do you think about that convention last night? You know, what, all of them? Fine. Peter, what do you think of that script the other day? You know, the time that when we attacked the thing and it might be a really bad thing? I don't know. Yeah. The shortest emails I have ever seen.
It's the worst.
Oh my. So I'd say to you, Peter, God, I just thought the show that you did, and I mean, I gotta tell you something. I will tell you something. This is one of the coolest things that I've seen Peter do, and it's so hard because he's a humble guy. But he invited me, and I was there when he had his hands and feet put in the concrete. And the only voice actor, and so well deserved.
Yes.
And the words that you said, I will envy you for the rest of my life. Perfect. He is a writer. Are we okay?
You're forgiven, Jay.
That was brilliant. It was brilliant. Seriously.
Y'all are awesome.
So, yeah, that's an understatement. You guys are truly awesome. You mean a lot to me because I grew up watching Transformers. I know everybody here enjoys the Transformers. this script and you realize, I'm Optimus Prime. I'm Megatron. Does it just resonate something in your head? It's like, oh my God, I'm so loved by so many people.
Well, number one, I think it's an honor, and it's a privilege, and it is perhaps in an actor's career, probably one of the greatest gifts you can receive is to do something that is appreciated and not take it for granted. And there's a sense of love and internal feeling of that entirety that comes together. And it brings us together in a room like this with the opportunity to give it back and to tell you that I feel the same way about you and your appreciation for me. And that is a very grateful, honest statement that hangs with me all the time. And when I'm alone and I'm not feeling perhaps too confident about some things in my life, I do remember faces in the crowd, and it's you, and I just have to say they love me, and I love you back.
We love you.
Yeah.
I cannot top that. That is perfect and eloquent and absolutely true. You know, for me too, Peter's kind of brought me along. And he said, Frank, you know, he's told me about some of the conventions that he's done and the fans that he's met, and told me stories and said, you know, and I said, well, you know, it's you, Peter, because that's who you are. You know, you're open and your heart is as big as the building, and it is true, and that's Peter. And I said, so people love you, you know. And he said, well, yeah. He said, but the fans, you need to come out. And I said, well, yeah, but you're Optimus Prime. Then you don't want to see me. See Prime.
Megatron! We love Wheelie!
I swear.
We love Wheelie!
But Peter really did convince me, you know, that you were there, and he said you just need to meet the people, you'll understand what I'm talking about. And this is the second time I've met a group of you, and it is 10 times what I thought. And Peter's right, and so thank you.
As you get older, you know, you grow up watching a show and experiencing the characters you see on TV, and you're like, oh, that's so awesome, I want to be them, or I want to meet them. And sometimes you grow older, and sometimes you learn what people truly are, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't you like that. I can honestly say it is okay to meet your heroes. You two gentlemen are amazing. I think everybody here agrees with that statement. And since, well, Peter, you accomplished the impossible, bringing Frank here with one of took a lot of work. I'm glad.
But he did steal my steak dinner.
We need a little wheelie!
We do a wheelie real quick. No, okay, no wheelie.
Iceman!
The fans are always right, so we sit up. Just, you know, we are huge fans of yours. Any last words you'd like to share with us before you go steal someone's steak?
Well, you know, everything that we said without getting too mushy and crazy about it, I mean, what Peter said, he said it so eloquently, and I just want to say again that you people are what we do it for. Has to you. The studios, the writers, they want to do what you want, and we want to perform for you. So don't forget that, you are the boss, and I appreciate you. All right. Who's in here from Ghost Story? and I appreciate so much you giving me a job. Thank you.
Do a cameo.
Well,
in the
ladies and
next
gentlemen,
live
obviously
action.
this is an unprecedented experience to have the two of these gentlemen here with us. So one last big round of applause for Mr.
Jump to the panel, because he got an invitation for an audition from your old boss. Yeah.
This is from Wally.
He called me to make sure that I got everything exactly
For
right.
both of you. This is from Wally Burr.
Yeah!
Wally was very clever.
Sorry, you're gonna cut it out. Do a cameo in the next live action movie! Yeah!
Both of you guys do cameos in one.
On camera cameo in the next Transformers movie! Yes!
Oh!
You guys deserve it!
That's right.
Don't let the next Transformers movie suck! You